Hi everybody, welcome to another video podcast. I know you've been clamoring to see my face. I thought I'd bring it again for you. Purdue's coming off a loss, a pretty tough one. Losses now to Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska. All look pretty damning at this point. And you know, there are a lot of teams that have lost games against good teams. Even Butler, who I respect a lot this year, who has a lot of quality wins, lost a game that they shouldn't have against Georgetown. They lost another one they shouldn't have in the last 10 days. It happens. But the problem that I think we've got for our Boilermakers right now is our expectations maybe have been set too high. Have we made Purdue into something they're not? It kind of seems that way, right? I heard Purdue basketball SID Chris Foreman on Twitter lamenting the fact that many Purdue fans have gotten overly emotional in the wake of losses. And he said, some people just aren't ever satisfied. Well, I can tell you this much. The time where a fan base is least satisfied is after a loss, and even more so after a loss versus a team that's not very good. Does Nebraska have some talented players? Sure. There's no doubt they've got some really good guards. But their bigs couldn't match up with Purdue's, and still Purdue couldn't do anything about it. We can whine and we can complain all day long about officials not doing their job, not making the calls they should have, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Matt Painter doesn't work officials. Miles worked the officials brilliantly, especially one who was right in front of him. He made sure that he made calls when he wanted him to, and he made sure he didn't make calls when he didn't want him to. It was pretty masterful, really, when you get right down to it. I give props to Nebraska and their coaching staff for handling the game the way they did. They took the physicality right at Purdue. They dared the officials to call as many fouls as they could, and the officials just simply didn't blow the whistle. And that's part of the game, guys. I'm not whining about officials. I'm stating facts. It's the way it is. And on the road in the Big Ten, on the road in the NCAA basketball, this is what you got to deal with. This is why Purdue struggles, because Painter struggles to get in the heads, the minds, the hearts of the officials. He doesn't go after them. So now where are we? Well, Purdue is backing their way out of the season, it kind of seems, right? Dropped down to number 23 now, or 24 depending on the poll, 17-5. Not a horrible place to be, but surely not the place that I thought, or I hoped, that's wrong, that I hoped they'd be. At the beginning of the season, when I talked sidebar off with the other BS staff members, I said, I think Purdue's probably going to finish 4th or 5th in the conference. They're going to struggle to get a good seeding, and then they're going to do what they've done the last few years, which is disappoint us, sadly, in the NCAA tournament. They simply must get a higher seed to do better so Painter can get the team into some rhythm, because when it's close to an even matchup on a neutral court, Purdue has struggled in the past few years in postseason play. We saw it at Cincinnati where they gave up a large lead in the last minute. We saw it again versus Arkansas Little Rock, a team that was well overmanned, and Purdue simply couldn't close the deal out thanks to, get this, athletic, talented guard play, which is something that Purdue has not been able to stop this year too, especially in their losses. Look at especially Villanova, Minnesota, even Iowa, because Bohannon had a couple big plays at the end, and most recently last night at Nebraska, where Purdue got torched from 3, and Purdue fans say things like, wow, what's the odds that a team would shoot this well again against Purdue? Putting a hand in a guy's face after the ball's been released does no good. It may look good on TV to people that don't play a lot of basketball, but to a shooter, a hand coming across his vision after the ball's out of his hand means absolutely nothing. Let's use a case in point, Purdue fans. Many of you have a hard time watching P.J. Thompson do what he does. I love the guy. I think he's great. I think he's solid. I think he's what Purdue needs. He's not great on defense at times, but here's the deal. You can't have it both ways, right, guys? If you say this guy's a bum, which some of you do, inexplicably, I'll say that again, inexplicably, P.J. Thompson can hit shots when he's open all day long, and he does. Now, don't say it's great shooting on one side and then say it's poor defense on the other, or vice versa. Just be consistent here. Purdue's defense, especially up top, has been pretty lackluster in the losses. They've struggled. Okay, now, let's look ahead. Northwestern against Purdue at Mackey Arena late Wednesday night on 8:30 tip-off. Northwestern is ranked. They are 17-4. They may not have many quality wins. In fact, their only quality win, you could argue, is against Texas because they were ranked. But Texas, we know, is not good at all, right? So Northwestern is suffering from the same fate that Maryland is a bit, because they don't have many quality wins, because their schedule has been weak. That said, they've beaten the teams they have to beat. This is a different Northwestern team. They're going to the NCAA tournament unless catastrophe happens, which I just don't see happening. I think Northwestern's going to go to the tournament. I think they're going to be probably a 7 or 8 seed. Pretty solid. Purdue, I think right now looks like they're destined for about a 6 to an 8 seed, depending on what they do from here out. But man, I am just exactly in the position that I thought a Matt Painter team would be at this point. Am I asking for Matt Painter to be fired? Make no mistake, no, I'm not. But I am lamenting the fact that Matt Painter is what Matt Painter is. He's 46 years old. His teams are what they are. He does not make adjustments when he's under pressure, and he has a hard time with substitution patterns, especially when the game gets tight. This isn't rocket science. This is what it is, and you guys have watched the same games as I have. I hope things change. I hope Purdue catches fire. One of our other Purdue blogs said, well, what if Purdue wins out? Well, if they win out, they'll probably get up to about a 5, right? A 4 or 5. That's the thing. This schedule is pretty lousy for Purdue, right? Because they have a lot to lose still. They could still lose a lot and not much to gain, because there just aren't many quality wins on the schedule in front. Go beat Northwestern, go beat Maryland, and that goes a long way. Beating 2 ranked teams in the next week will do a very a large amount in the committee's mind, I'm sure. Will they do it? I don't know. I think they're gonna. Here's my gut says they beat Northwestern on Wednesday pretty handily. I think they can beat up on them pretty good. The question is, will they be able to rotate and guard McIntosh again? They do much better at home. When the Paint Crew is in Mackey Arena, this Purdue team's a mother, plain and simple. So the Paint Crew is probably worth 10 to 12 points. I say Purdue wins by 15. Then the Maryland game, gets dicey there, although they played well against Maryland at Maryland last year. So hopefully I'm giving you a video report in a few weeks that is just full of joy and happy thoughts. Go Boilers. Thanks for reading BoiledSports.com, following us on Twitter. This has been the Boiled Sports Handsome Hour video podcast with just me, the most handsome of all the Boiled Sports staff, obviously. I don't have to tell you that. BS all the time.